Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are absolutely flipping the script on how you think about weight loss. If you're just totally exhausted by obsessing over basic calorie math, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to dive deep into evolutionary biology to decode the quiet, ancient habits that your metabolism actually evolved to expect. We're looking past modern restriction and focusing instead on our biology and our daily rhythms. Okay, let's dive into this. This agenda is going to act as our chronological, 24-hour biological blueprint. We'll be hitting the visceral fat mystery, continuous rhythmic movement, the metabolic toggle switch, walking after meals, sleep and total darkness, and finally, syncing with evolutionary biology. Section 1. The visceral fat mystery. Now, we all know someone who seemingly does everything right? They're logging miles on the treadmill, tracking literally every single meal, yet they still struggle with that stubborn midsection fat that just refuses to budge. To understand why, we have to look a bit deeper. When you look at a cross-section of the body, just under the skin, we have subcutaneous fat. That's the soft, superficial, essentially harmless stuff. But wrapping tightly around vital organs like your liver, pancreas, and intestines is visceral fat. This isn't just some inert storage locker. It's a highly active biological organ, constantly firing off inflammatory signals and metabolic hormones straight into your bloodstream. And this active interference drastically alters how your body handles glucose. So simple calorie math just completely misses this deep, active layer. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that today we constantly try to fix these deep metabolic problems with an isolated 30-minute or maybe an hour-long workout. Think about that intense gym setting for a second. It feels like enough, right? But visceral fat is actually controlled by massive hormonal switches, specifically insulin and cortisol. So here's the stark reality. A brief gym session literally cannot outpace the biological signals you're sending your body during the other 23.5 hours of the day. Whether your body decides to store energy as visceral fat or release it is almost entirely dictated by how we sit, how we sleep, and how our hormones fluctuate outside those gym walls. Section 2. Continuous rhythmic movement. Let's transition into the daytime phase of our evolutionary cycle, because to actually clear visceral fat, we have to move past the gym entirely. In the ancient world, the human day was characterized by this continuous, low-level state of dynamic activity. Today, scientists call this NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. We're talking about background movement, standing up, walking across uneven terrain, or honestly simply shifting your posture. If you picture a fast-paced time-lapse of daily tasks, it really drives this home. This constant motion keeps fat metabolizing enzymes continuously engaged. It ensures healthy blood circulation all day long. Our bodies literally evolved to expect this gentle hum of activity, not sitting totally still for 8 hours punctuated by brief moments of extreme exertion. And along with that constant motion came unavoidable mechanical stress. Dragging branches, carrying water, transporting food. Resistance training wasn't a scheduled class, it was just woven into daily survival. I want you to think of your muscle cells like tiny microscopic engines. When you combine continuous light movement with regular mechanical stress from lifting and carrying, those engines are constantly revving. They're actively pulling glucose straight from the bloodstream. Because muscle tissue is metabolically expensive to maintain, your body routes energy molecules directly to repair them. The result? Visceral fat storage gets completely bypassed. Your body becomes highly efficient at using fuel for actual movement, making visceral fat an entirely unnecessary storage reserve. Section 3. The metabolic toggle switch. Just as our movement has completely changed, our eating habits have drastically shifted away from our biology. On one side, we have modern grazing. Food is everywhere, available at any hour, which leads to chronic, round-the-clock eating. But historically, humans ate in very distinct windows, followed by long gaps where the body had to find energy somewhere else. Picture your metabolism as a rigid toggle switch. When you're constantly grazing, your insulin levels stay chronically high. And because of that, that metabolic switch gets permanently jammed in the store energy position. So, the crucial point is this. What happens when we actually allow those long gaps between meals? Well, insulin finally drops. And when insulin drops, that toggle switch flips from store over to burn. This is the exact biological mechanism that allows the body to unlock, access, and eventually drain those stubborn, visceral fat reserves. Without those gaps, your body never even gets the signal to tap into its stored energy. It's just always storing. Section 4. Walking after meals. Okay, so once you've eaten, what you do immediately after is absolutely critical. The data on this is actually incredibly stark. Today, so many of us finish a heavy meal and just immediately crash on the couch or sit back down at a desk. This stationary state creates a massive, towering spike in blood sugar, forcing a huge insulin response to deal with it. But notice the massive difference when you simply take a gentle walk after eating. Your contracting leg muscles essentially act like a sponge, absorbing glucose directly from the bloodstream. It clears the sugar efficiently and significantly shrinks the intensity of that post-meal insulin spike. And unlike a high-intensity run, a gentle walk stabilizes your blood sugar without jacking up stress hormones like cortisol. It just keeps your whole system in perfect balance. Section 5. Sleep and total darkness. Now, the moment the sun disappears, our final and maybe most crucial biological habit takes over. In the ancient world, nights meant total darkness. Fast forward to today, and the glow of a smartphone screen illuminating a pitch-black bedroom is creating a modern hormonal disaster. This blue light exposure literally tricks your brain into thinking the sun is still up, which instantly hits the brakes on melatonin production. When your sleep cycle is disrupted like this, cortisol rises, shifting your metabolism straight towards center fat storage. At the exact same time, your hunger hormone, ghrelin, shoots up, while your fullness hormone, leptin, tanks. If you break the dark cycle, you're practically guaranteed to wake up in a defensive, fat-storing state, plagued by intense sugar cravings that basically render all your daytime efforts totally useless. And this brilliantly illustrates a major misconception. We tend to think of melatonin just as a sleep aid, right? Something to help you nod off. But actually, it's a master metabolic hormone. It signals the body to fully transition into a recovery state. It interacts incredibly deeply with the biological systems that regulate your overnight insulin sensitivity, ensuring your body handles energy correctly while you're resting. Total darkness isn't just a nice-to-have for a good night's sleep, it is a non-negotiable metabolic requirement. Section 6. Syncing with evolutionary biology. Let's move to and see how this builds into a unified lifestyle. This is where we bring all of these rhythmic alignments together. Your morning is for steady background movement, that meat we talked about. Your afternoon relies on distinct eating windows rather than chronic nonstop grazing. The evening involves a gentle blood sugar stabilizing post-meal walk. And the night, that's reserved for complete recovery in total darkness. Maintaining a lean metabolism really doesn't require extreme, punishing physical exertion. It definitely doesn't require starvation. Human metabolism relies on these steady, quiet background signals, movement, timing, and darkness, to know that it's safe to burn energy rather than hoarding. I want to leave you with this defining thought. When our daily habits match our evolutionary biology, visceral fat gradually becomes a less necessary storage reserve. I mean, talk about a paradigm shift. This is the ultimate solution to the visceral fat mystery. You literally cannot out-train a lifestyle that is biologically confused. Integrating these ancient habits into your life outside the gym, that is the quiet, highly effective secret to staying slim. Which leaves us with one final vital question. If your 23.5 hours are currently fighting against your evolutionary biology, how will you optimize your morning cortisol and testosterone before tomorrow even begins? Seriously, think about that. The way you start your day sets the absolute tone for everything we just discussed. In our next explainer, we are going to break down an ancient morning routine used to naturally optimize those exact hormones from the very second you wake up. You absolutely won't want to miss it. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I will see you in the next one.